Howdy y'all, my name is AFontes and this is my final project for Spatial Systems Science. My project is titled Texas Gulf Coast Mock Oil Spill, an analysis of clustering instances among susceptible environments. So to start off, I'm going to talk about my data components of my project and the location. The data I used was based on the Environmental Sustainability Index ranking points, which is provided by NOAA, and mock oil spill points based on offshore pipeline networks provided by the Texas Railroad Commission. So basically what I did was I took pipeline data and chose 4 mock oil spill locations and integrated that with the correlation between the location and ranking of the sustainability and susceptibility to an oil spill up and down the Texas Gulf Coast. So to start off, I took my oil spill points that I created and created 5, 10, and 15 mile buffer zones around each oil spill point, and took the Environmental Sustainability Index ranking data, which is abbreviated with ESI, and selected out the environments that would be affected by these potential oil spills that I was creating. So as you can see on the left, it is all of the ESI data plus the 4 sets of buffer zones around the oil spill points, and then on the right is an example, actually Corpus Christi Bay example, of a single oil spill point and the buffered zone along with the potentially impacted environmental zones. So after I pulled out the environments that would be impacted by these potential oil spills, I used the high-low clustering GETIS General G tool to basically calculate the clustering of highly susceptible areas, so highly sensitive areas. So as you can see in the display, this is a different one of the locations. This one is the one up near Houston Ship Channel, specifically right there at Galveston Bay. And so once I ran the tool on the environment affected by that potential oil spill point, on the left you can see the original data that was pulled out from the original buffer zone, and on the right you can see the statistical symbology created after the tool was run based on the GI score, which basically is the correlation between the location and clustering of the ranking values for each point. So on the right you can see the clustered sensitive areas in the top right area of the right picture, and those red areas display the clustering of susceptible areas and susceptible environments. So here's another display. On the left you've got Matagorda Bay with the exact same thing. After the tool is run, you can see what areas display the clustering of sensitive environments. And so this tool and this process could be used to help decide where to send response teams after a environmental disaster such as an oil spill, by looking at these clustered environments and clustering locations. You see what areas are most likely to have the largest impact. So another output and result that could be used could be a full analysis of the Texas coast, which is what the map on the left is displaying right now. That is where I ran the tool for all the data that is available for the Texas Gulf Coast, showing the highly susceptible areas. And once I looked at that, I went through online and I looked up the protected wildlife areas and protected refuge areas and stuff like that. And it was pretty interesting to see that the highly susceptible areas also usually correlated exactly with where these national wildlife refuge and important areas such as Corpus Christi Bay or the Houston Ship Channel are located. So I found that very interesting. So an output from this research could be a map such as this. And then on the right, you've got a more fine scale example of what could be used. So in conclusion, GIS applications can be a great tool in displaying and portraying areas that need to be given priority in an emergency, especially with an offshore oil spill, and that priority locations tend to be those made up of sponge-like or stagnant environments, which are exactly what the ranking values were representing for those areas that were most susceptible to oil buildup and oiling events. So in conclusion, I was able to take the ESI ranking data and put it in a tool that showed where the clustering of the highly susceptible areas are to be used in a potential response situation if a oil spill were to happen at any point in the Texas Gulf that would affect any point along our coast. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and have a great day.